Man, we having some technical difficulties again, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get started though, we want to apologize to everyone that tuned in last week and had to deal with that audio difficulties that we was dealing with. But hopefully this week it's probably gonna look different this week, but at least you'll be able to see and hear us this time. But with all that being said, welcome to another edition of Fresh Five Friday with TY and Reggie. Peace, bro. What's good?
Nothing, bruh. New week, new adventure.
That's right. So we got a lot to talk about this week. Which direction you gonna take? You gonna come up with some football talk or some basketball talk? Which one?
Oh man, we're gonna do a little bit of both, man. This was the deadline was this week for free agency in the association. So
Trade deadline.
I don't just have like a traditional fresh five for you today. We're just gonna chop it up about a couple of different things, and I just want to get your viewpoint on a few things. And then before we end, we'll talk about the Super Bowl. I feel like I don't know, for some reason this year, I feel like the week leading up to the Super Bowl kind of took a back seat.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
But neither here nor there. We're gonna just go ahead and jump into it. So my first question for you is, obviously this week, your guy, LeBron, he's always been your guy. Passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the all-time scorer. It was past my bedtime, but I stayed up to watch it. I know you did. We kind of chopped it up through text throughout the game. How do you feel with him passing? I know you always felt like he was the best, but what do you mean? What do you think it means just for the game of basketball for him to get that now? And just what are your thoughts on it?
Man, and like you just said, man, it's nothing else that LeBron didn't have to break Kareem record to be the GOAT for me. He been proved that long time ago, just on his skill set alone. He's bigger, faster, stronger. But the thing that was most impressive to me is this dude, he been in the national spotlight since he was 15 years old. He was on the front of Sports Illustrated magazine at 15 years old and came into the league and put a tattoo on his back, the chosen one. So for the last 20 years, probably 15 years out of the last 20 years, he's been the best player in the league. Or arguably one or two, because Kobe had some outstanding years when he first came in. I just hate that they never got a chance to play in the finals. That would have been very interesting. But just for him to come in with all the expectations and not only live up to them, but I feel like he shattered them at the same time. And this is something I remember when I was in elementary school, it was just this Halley's Comet had came through. It was a meteor, and it was like it come through every 75 years. So they had telescopes and everything out. We was looking at looking through the telescopes, and if you see it that one time, Halley's Comet, something like that, you're not gonna see it for another 75 years. This record, the most unique thing about me for this record, Kareem broke it in April of 1984. LeBron's mother wasn't even pregnant with him when he broke the record. And he was born in December of 1984. So if history will repeat itself, it'll probably be another 40 years. And the person that's gonna break this record, not even born yet. So that's how I look at it. If it ever get, and it may never, this record may never get broken.
Yeah, I know records are made to be broken. However, this one, I don't know. I mean, because of the longevity that you would have to have to do it. And I just, like you said, let's just say if it is going to be broken, That person don't exist yet, or at least the world don't know them to be that at this point. They could be in elementary, they could be in junior high. Well, they wouldn't even be in junior high because you would already
No,
have a spotlight on you. They could be in
right.
elementary right now. However, it's no one in the league. That's for sure. That's in the league right now. And then I was going to touch on that, but you hit that, the unique thing of, the record was made in 84 and LeBron was born in 84. And I was reading a unique story, and we'll move on after this, but it's something that Charles Oakley put in his book, The Last Enforcer. And he was, Charles Oakley is from Cleveland. So
Yeah.
he first, if I'm telling the story correctly, his LeBron first interaction with MJ was through Charles Oakley. He took LeBron
Came to win his high school game.
Well, he took LeBron to, he wanted to kind of like mentor, I guess, due to the Ohio, the Cleveland connection or whatever, mentor LeBron. He was 16 years old and he took LeBron to Chicago to a pickup game that Jordan, a bunch of NBA players was doing. And so he got an opportunity to meet Jordan and he was in awe. He brought all his gear thinking he was going to play. He was 16 and Jordan didn't let him play. And the reason Jordan didn't let him play is because he didn't want him to get hurt. Because, his body and stuff wasn't ready, even though 2 years later, he was in the league, but he felt like the NBA players out there, it's a pickup. So it's different than, hey man, you gotta think, we talking about if he was 16, this is not 80s basketball, but this is 90s for sure. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't want him to get hurt, long story short, but he was in awe. And I'm just saying 2 years later, he was in the league. So that story, I was reading that article recently and I was like, wow, I didn't know that. Who can say that they went and, watched Jordan play a pickup game at 16? So it's like he was always dying to be who he is. And like you said, he stepped in those shoes and he wore them well. But not to prolong that, moving on, we're going to jump into the Kyrie Irving trade. Earlier in the week, he was traded to the Dallas Mavericks. I think we kind of feel the same way about that. True, and I talked to a lot of people about this throughout the week, and I'm going to get your opinion on it, but True, you got true basketball heads, and then you got, I ain't going to say fair weather fans, but just casual fans, I would say, of the game. They like it, but they don't really dig deep into it. And we get into the nicks and crannies of it, but how do you feel this trade is going to pan out with Dallas last year getting to the Western Conference Finals, and now they're getting a piece to the puzzle like Kyrie?
Man, great question. I watched Kyrie play the other night, his first game. He came out and he was Kyrie. But as far as Kyrie, his skill level, man, I feel like he's the most. I feel like Kyrie Irving is the most skilled player to ever play in the NBA. And number two is Kobe. I feel like him and Kobe are the top two skilled players. You can switch them out however. I think they're the most skilled players to ever play. But I have a lot of love for Kyrie, probably because we was born on the same, we share the same birthday, not the same year, but we share the same birthday. And I knew that since he came in the league, him and Jason Kidd. So, but I really, and sometimes some of the stuff that Kyrie say or do, it remind me of myself a lot. You probably, some things you probably done said or did, you probably said, damn, bro probably would have said the same thing, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if they have anything to do with it. But as far as the trade, I think they're gonna use Kyrie right now as like a rental for the rest of the season to see how him and Luka pan out. I know we probably feel the same. Both of them are ball dominant. I think you said that day one. Both of them ball dominant, and we want to see how it worked. But last night with Kyrie, the other night with Kyrie without Luka, man, it he did his thing, you know. So I guess we're gonna see how he looked for the rest of the season. And if they don't sign him, he'll probably be in Los Angeles next year.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't know if I answered. I don't know if I answered you correctly, but
yeah, I mean, pretty much, we already kind of talked about it a little bit. Like, I know a lot of teams didn't want to take a chance on him because it's off the court stuff. And then also him not willing to commit for an extension. I'm not saying that he won't, but I'm just saying though, he had let it be known that his final destination wanted to be LA. And just from on the court's perspective, with both of them kind of like being point forward, point guard type, whatever you want to call it, ball dominant. I don't know how that's going to work when you get into the playoff type games. The games where, hey, right now we can kind of play it where kind of like I kind of see it going right now like KD and Russ was in OKC. All right, you got it. I'm gonna play a 2 off. All right, you got it. I'm ready. You go ahead and take a break. I got it. And it's gonna be kind of like a lot of standing around while the other one do what he do. But when it come to playoff time, you can be in some games, but when the games slow down and now this person lost their rhythm or can't catch their rhythm because the back and forth, I can see it being a problem. But games are meant to be played, and we'll see what happens. But like you said, I think if I had to pick one way or the other, he's just going to be there until to the summer.
Yeah. Hey, bro, real quick before you go to the next one, and a lot of people just dog Kyrie. I got into a big discussion on Instagram talking about. I made a comment about Stephen A. Smith. He said some out of bounds stuff about Kyrie, and I commented on it, and a lot of people. Only one person took it in a negative way. What I said, but what I said was, Stephen A. Smith is very critical when it comes to black men, but you didn't have nothing to say about, you defended Jerry Jones. And I had one person defended Stephen A. Smith, and everybody else, I didn't have to say nothing, But Kyrie asked them last Friday, were they gonna sign him to a extension, give him a max contract or whatever, re-sign him. From my knowledge, the owner said no. And immediately when he said no, he said, I request a trade. That was Friday, and Saturday he was gone, or Sunday, whatever, he was gone. So what would you have done in that situation?
Yeah, I'm be out because I'm saying though, I'm max worthy. So yeah. If I'm max worthy, why would I take less to appease you? You know what I'm saying? When I know I can get far more on the market. And he
said nothing. He said nothing. He said they didn't have any intentions on re-signing him at all.
Okay. Well, peace. All right. So moving on, we had some other big trades, but the next one was the KD trade. And I was reading where they said he was quietly working this trade behind closed doors with the organization and with the Suns. And the thing about it is Kyrie may have been privy to this, and that's why Kyrie did what he did beforehand. So this was already in the works, but KD just wanted to do it quietly. So he always wanted out. You see what I'm saying? He was trying to go to the Suns before the season. However, the Suns came up with a package that the Nets was willing to depart with because they was going to get nothing, the same as the Kyrie situation. So how you feel, not necessarily how you feel about the trade, but do you think that put the Suns at the top of the team to beat?
I'm gonna say something about KD first. You dropped the Woj bomb just now when you said that KD was secretly working. I didn't know that, but it just happened. And secondly, they would have lost. I don't blame them for trading Kyrie because he's an unrestricted free agent the last game of the season. KD just signed a 4 or 5 year deal last year. So they still had rights to KD. So they did him a solid, but they got 7 players for Kevin Durant. 7. So imagine what they'll get if the Lakers traded LeBron. You'll get a coach, a water boy, a whole team, everything for LeBron if they traded him. But to answer your question, will it make them the top of the West? For Chris Paul's sake, I hope so, but I don't see it because Chris Paul ain't Chris Paul anymore. He ain't the same CP3. He can't hold. He can't play defense. Booker, I know you love Devin Booker, but he can't hold his shadow. And Andre Ayton, he's one game he want to play, next game he don't. And Kevin Durant, I mean, I hate to talk about injuries, but can you depend on him to be there when the time is? And he's not a great defensive player. He's a good help side defense player, but he's not a good sit in the chair and play defense type of player. So if I had to pick a team in the West that I think was pound for pound, the team to beat, it's gonna probably be the team that share the building with the Lakers, you know. I think they're just scary. They probably got too much talent. The Clippers.
Okay. We're gonna see. I think I ain't gonna say too little too late, but too little too late. Sometimes when you get a major star like Kevin Durant, unless you to go to State Warriors, it takes some time to get that together. Now you say, oh, okay, the season really don't start until after the All-Star break. I get that.
Yeah.
But injuries are a part of the game. So if they can stay healthy, they may make some noise, but you can't sleep on, I don't even like the team, but they're very good. You can't sleep on Denver. And let me tell you why you can't sleep on Denver. If Jamal is healthy and playing like he did 2 seasons ago
in the bubble,
Denver is going to be a problem if he can get back to that level. Because now you got a couple more years of Jokic. Is Jokic, right? Jokic.
Yeah.
You got a couple of more years. He done, had a couple of more years on his belt. So, and that dude, man, he's like that dude you love to hate. He do so many things right, but then he has no athletics. No, he's not athletic at all, right?
Nope.
So,
right.
He ain't it. He's not flashy, barely jump, but he put the ball in the basket. And he's so big that he's not a very good defender and he fouls a lot, but he just gets in the way. And from a kid when we was coming up, just stand there, just get in front of the goal. Like they used to tell the big guy, Brooke Bannister, whoever it was, hey, just stand right there and hold your hands up. And you're gonna make it a problem for the offensive player just because how big and how much space did you take up. So I'm not really sold on the Clippers because the Clippers hasn't never really showed me anything. Denver has showed me that they were in the right way, in the right direction rather. So it's gonna be interesting, but that's the talk. That's the cooler talk. That's the barbershop talk. Is Phoenix the best in the West now? But we'll see, because the one thing a lot of these teams do, and we're guilty of it in LA, we have been in the past, is we focus so much on the core that you don't focus on, as Shaq can say, the others, the bench. And that bench is what win those championships. Those guys, 6 through 7 or 8, that's in your rotation, that's going to give those starters those minutes to keep the lead that they built and give them a break on the bench. So we'll see. But leading to my next question, which you already answered, was I was going to ask you, who do you think, well, not really, you haven't answered it, but I'm pretty sure where you're going to go with it. Do you think this makes the West the best conference now?
Hey, but I'm gonna touch on this first. Chris Paul, man, I think we talked about that one time. Wasn't that one of our topics about who we think should get a championship, or that didn't have a ring. Did we talk about that before?
Sound like
Yeah.
something we'll probably discuss.
Yeah, and I think both of us picked Chris Paul to win a chip. So, and Allen Iverson, you know what I'm saying? We picked them, but yeah. But as far as the West, I don't think so because Philly, Milwaukee, Boston, of course. I don't see none of these teams. I mean, these teams, they got the best records in the NBA, and they're gonna be tough to beat. I mean, they're gonna be tough to beat. So with Milwaukee, I mean, I'm gonna have Boston 1, Philly 2, Milwaukee 3, and you can even throw Miami in there. I mean, all those teams are probably better than the top 4 in the West, in my opinion.
So, I mean, the reason why I said that is because Kyrie went to the West, Kevin Durant went to the West, and then you're looking at, I'm just saying, you're looking at Golden State starting to get their stuff together. Golden State got rid of Washington. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what, they was able to get their defensive little pit bull back in Gary Payton Jr. See what I'm saying?
They're small. They're small though.
Yeah, they small. You got Golden, but they found a way to being small. Yeah. They have been the exception to the rule since they won the championship. We used to say that you can't win a championship like that, but they showed us 4 times that you could. But you got Golden State, you got Denver, as we just spoke on, you know, and you got Phoenix. Now the thing about Golden State, they had some injuries and stuff, and their record don't reflect their skill set, I don't think. Then you got Phoenix. Well, Chris Paul don't count because I'm saying he stayed hurt in the last couple of years. But Booker been out a good part of the season this year. So you can't really look at their record and say really where they sit. Like I said, and then you got Denver, so that's 3 out there, and then I'm thinking probably the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? As that 4. So if you want to say 4 and 4, after that it gets pretty much open.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one is the best. That's why I threw the question out there, just to see what your thoughts were.
Man, I just look at Boston, man. Boston with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they 1A, 1 and 1A. But
I mean,
I didn't even have. I mean, look at Phoenix though. They got rid of Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, and Cam Johnson. If my memory serves me correctly, and Jay Crowder and Mikal Bridges are the 2 best perimeter defensive players on the team, and I mean, Jay Crowder not going. They're gonna give him that 3-pointer all day, but he's gonna always hold. He's gonna hold LeBron. He always has to hold him. Mikal Bridges don't miss games. He the modern day Cal Ripken. He the modern day Iron Man. People don't think about that, man, but they gave up a lot for Kevin Durant, and he's not even healthy to play right now. So
I agree, but what in their defense, as my sister like to always say, Jay Crowder ain't played all season. So
he ain't played all season. Yeah.
So it's not like you saying what he was doing on the court, we're gonna miss it now. We found a way to win, lose, or draw without him the whole season. So
yeah.
Cam, I know that's your guy. Didn't he come from North Carolina?
All day.
He's not consistent to me. I think he's starting to play a little bit better, but I'm just saying though, I would like to see him get a little bit more consistent. And then, but I love Bridges. I love Bridges. You know what I'm saying? His energy, like even when he's having a good offensive, he's going to give you 100. So I think he's going to be the one that's going to be actually missed the most out of that group.
He was the first one traded. Everything else after him is extra.
Yeah,
he's the one. You don't want to be. They traded Ty, and they threw in Nas, and Reggie. all us and whoever last, they
Yeah,
just threw you in just to make the pot sweet. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Or you've been traded with a money compensation.
Oh man,
That's terrible, man. Some of those, I saw a
yeah,
couple of those.
yeah.
But yeah, jumping to the last question, because I don't want to hold you too long, is we're gonna throw in a little football question, you know what I'm saying? Show them some love. We pretty much already talked about this, but we're just gonna go a little bit more in detail. I know we had a conversation or episode a few weeks ago, like kind of like when the playoffs first started, and we kind of look back at the beginning of the season and how we kind of like picked Jalen Hurts to be not necessarily win the Super Bowl, but to have a breakout year, in which I think he have. Then we also expanded on that about who do you think is going to win the MVP. We talked about it. It still came down to these two quarterbacks, crazily enough, that's in the Super Bowl. Now, we talked about this before, but we're going to just put it on camera. Who do you got Sunday and why? Now, before you answer that, we both know it's very hard to bet against bad legs. But who you got?
I'm just gonna stay true to the game. I've been rooting for this kid since he was at Alabama when he went to Oklahoma, and I felt like they were the best team coming in the league. But when he got hurt, I said San Francisco. San Francisco went on their run. I said they were the best team in the league because they was playing with Mr. Irrelevant as their starting quarterback. So they had their most important position as a plug and play position. Got the third and fourth string quarterback playing. But with that being said, I think, and I'm going against with what I usually do. Whenever I pick a team to win, I always see who got the best quarterback. I feel like Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the league. He's the MVP. You know, he's the most valuable. He's the best player in the league. But the most valuable player, and it's proven, is Jalen Hurts. Because without him in that lineup, they're just a regular team. With him in the lineup, they're better than San Francisco, if you follow me. So it's amazing that Pat Mahomes here without the cheetah, but he put up better numbers this year without the cheetah. So with that being said, I'm going with the best team this time, and Jalen Hurts gonna pull it out, in my opinion.
Okay, so my pick, I'm going with my heart and not my head. I'm going with Philly and I'm going with Jalen Hurts. You don't bet against bad legs.
Nah.
Now he did have that high ankle sprain, I'm sorry, and I think that may come in effect at some point, him not being 100%. But I got a lot of love for Philly. I love the way Jalen Hurts conducts himself, and I'm gonna go with my heart, and I'm gonna go with Philly. We'll chop it up next week, and we'll see how this pan out. But I'm gonna go with Philly, and we're gonna see how Sunday play out.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be nice.
So,
yep.
Bro, that's our 5 questions.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. This was basically a conversation, man. I enjoyed it, but it was something else I wanted to ask you, but if I don't write it down, I mean, I'm getting old, I forget. But it'll maybe next week.
It's always next week.
Oh yeah. What you got for us today, man?
All right. So, I'm always trying to come up with something. And I was thinking, man, it's Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? We get 28, 29 days a year. But every day is Black History to me.
Yeah, right.
Anytime I can learn something that somebody that looked like me did, I'm good with it. But to give you one, this came from one of your brothers, Brother Malcolm X. He said, truth does not change, only awareness of it. And I thought that was pretty powerful. So I wanted to share that, and I'm gonna read it again. Truth does not change, only our awareness of it. And that was from Brother Malcolm X. That was in his autobiography. But again, like I said, this is the month, and I'm saying that to people that don't, to the people that wait until this month to research or read stuff about people that look like us. Hey, every day, every day. So if, like we always say, you can always start now or tomorrow. So
Yep.
whatever you did last year, yesterday, or last week, it doesn't matter. We're making you aware of it. If it ain't number one thing a week, try to learn something about somebody that looks like you, because what we intake up here, only God can take it away from us. You know what I mean? No man can't, So pick up a book. Oh, you don't even got to pick up a book. The saying was always that if you want to hide something from somebody that look like us, put it in a book. You don't even got to pick up no book no more. We got the technology right in front of us. We on our phones 24/7. Google, whatever, research. You know what I'm saying? We do it all the time. Learn something about somebody that looks like you so you can share that and pass that on. And that means sharing it and passing on means it lives forever. That's all I got, bro.
Hey, bro, I appreciate that, man. That was a dope ass message. But thank y'all for listening to another edition, Fresh Fire Friday with TY and Reggie. Peace be unto you.